One day this kingdom will be yours.
Thank you, Father, my king. Father! Remember, for whom you shed your last teardrop. I can feel now. I will avenge you, Father! I will save you, Mother! I will kill you, Fiona!
I will avenge you, Father. I will save you, Mother. I will kill you, Fiona.
I think it's a bit sad to kind of think this movie as another Conan the Barbarian movie. So sorry. So this movie, this is Robert Eggers' follow-up to The Lighthouse, which I love so much. That's still my favorite movie of his. Just going to say that right now. But this movie is his first movie outside of working with A24. Now, this time he's working with Focus Features, who is owned by Universal. So this is kind of him stepping out to working with a major studio. So this movie, it's about it's about a boy who this takes place during the Viking Ages too. So it's really great. But it's about a boy who sees his father. He's training to become the next king of his kingdom, but his father, he sees his father get killed by his uncle, and so he runs off and joins basically a gang. It's a gang. It's cult, but it's not. Where they basically just kill and kill and kill and don't really care who they're killing. They just kill. And then he learns that, his mother has been forced to marry his uncle. They had new kids. So he says, you know what, I'm going to avenge my father and save my mother, and I'll kill anyone who gets in my way. So that's the main plot of this movie. You could compare this to Conan the Barbarian, but in that movie, it was his entire family gets slaughtered by James Earl Jones. So yeah. Where in this, he sees his father get killed by his own uncle. So yeah, so family problems, huh? So when he comes back, there's a battle scene where it's all done in one take, and it's him and the Northman. He's played by Alexander Skarsgård, who I've seen him a couple times. The only other time I know I've seen him for sure was when he was Tarzan, and that was just kind of iffy. So, but this one, not only is he's being directed by Robert Eggers, who also co-wrote the script, but he also got fit for this role. So, and there's a lot of scenes where you see him shirtless too. So there you go. There's your reason to watch this movie if you want to see him without a shirt on. But there's a scene where it's supposed to be him running and just killing people in this village, and it's all done in one take, and it's done so beautifully. And another thing about this movie is that this movie is brutal. Like, oh my God. Like, if you thought like The Lighthouse or The Witch was just kind of violent, this one is just, wow, that was really, really violent. So yeah, and a lot of the times it's like right in your face. So yeah, if you are a bit iffy about violence being like directly in your face, I would stay away from this movie. But that's just me personally. This is also the movie that has Robert Eggers working with Anya Taylor-Joy, who was in The Witch, and Willem Dafoe again, who was in The Lighthouse. And it was really cool to see them back working with him, because I think they worked really well. Like, Anya Taylor-Joy in The Witch was very much like the heart and was the soul of that movie. And then the Lighthouse with Willem Dafoe, he was just cracking me up the entire time. So, and another thing about this movie is kind of the same as I would say as The Witch. With The Lighthouse, it just got weirder and weirder to the point where you were kind of laughing because you're like, I don't know what's going on, but it's kind of funny. I mean, how many times are you going to see a movie and then hear Robert Pattinson say that he wants to have sex with a steak? Not very much. So if you want a reason to watch The Lighthouse, there you go. So you don't get that in here, because this is the Viking Age, where The Witch was, I believe, the Victorian. The Lighthouse was, I believe, the 1890s, I believe. So, yeah, and I've noticed that Robert Eggers loves to do time period movies, and he's actually said he was asked if he would ever do a movie in like modern time, he just went, yeah, that's not happening. So I think him doing time period movies is very well done. But the acting in this movie is really, really good. From Alexander Skarsgård to Anya Taylor-Joy to Willem Dafoe to Nicole Kidman to Ethan Hawke. Really, really good. They're all really, really good. And there's a lot of like, if you watch like The Witch and a lot of the lighting techniques they used in that, they bring it back in here, which is like the candlelit stuff, or like it's lit only with one light. They bring it back in this. And I think this movie, it's different than The Witch and The Lighthouse, but it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be different. I think out of Eggers' movies, The Lighthouse is still my favorite. Then I think it would be this, then The Witch. But that's just me personally. I thoroughly enjoy this movie. Towards the end, they threw a twist that I was like, okay, I kind of was expecting that, but at the same time I wasn't. So I was like, okay, that's kind of a nice shift. Like, I kind of know what's going on. And then they said, well, you're right, but at the same time, you're wrong. So I'm like, okay, all right. I like the way this is going. Yeah. And yeah, this movie does not care about how old people are. They will get killed. They don't care if you're old, if you're an elder. They don't care if you're an adult. They don't care if you're a kid. They don't care. You will die. So if you don't like stuff like that, and like seeing like little kids or possibly even babies in harm, stay away from this movie. But I thoroughly enjoy this movie. This would be in the running of best films of the year. But that list just keeps growing. Like every month, it just keeps growing. So this year is going to be tough with movies. It's going to be very, very tough. So I would give this movie great. It's like I said, I liked The Lighthouse the best still because I like weird horror stuff. This one, it's not. I mean, there is kind of horror stuff in here and weirdness in here. It's definitely in it, but the horror isn't necessarily like the slow building or just like weirdness that you're watching. It's more of just like you see what these people have to go through. It's that kind of horror. So, like I said, I like this movie, but I still prefer The Lighthouse. So yeah, I would also say if you liked like Viking tales, you would definitely like this movie. So yeah, if you love like that, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you would definitely like this movie. If you like Viking history, you would definitely like this movie. Which is why I think Robert Eggers works so well with doing time period movies. It's because it's like if you like the Victorian era, then you would like this. If you love the 1890s era, you would like this. If you like the Viking era, you would love this. So I really think that Robert Eggers has become one of the best directors in modern day, or in the past decade, or past decade. And yeah, I can't wait to see more from him.
I will kill you, feel it.